Flosstube, Stephanie here. It's Oh So Crafty. Welcome to my Flosstube video number 26. How's everyone doing? Today is January 1st, New Year's Day. Happy New Year! Let's hope that 2017 is better than 2016. So, what I want to do today is just show you all my finishes and whips from 2016, and I'm going to start with some recent finishes that you haven't actually seen on my channel yet, that I finished after my last update. So here we go. My most recent finish is the 12 Days of Christmas by Joan Elliott. Started this in January, finished it in December. It took 41 days of stitching or something like that. Stitched it on 32 count white with silver sparkle by Fabric Flair. There is no silver sparkle really, so just white. And I used the fibers and charts from the Design Works kit. Close up, 12 days, and the beads and everything that came in the kit. So this pattern has a little bit of everything in it. Full coverage areas, a little bit of confetti, repeating patterns in the border. There's fractionals, there's tons of backstitch, there's beading, there's lots of metallics. See all that gold metallic on the border lines. And it was a lot of work, but each little block was kind of like a mini FO, so it wasn't, you know, it could have been more of a slog, I guess. I'm really glad I did the back stitching as I went along, because if I hadn't, this piece would certainly be a UFO. But I am very pleased with it now that it's done, and I have a frame for it, so, but I'm not really in any hurry to frame it, certainly before next year, but you know. Okay, so a few days before Christmas, I finished the Spirit of Christmas by Lavender and Lace. This is stitched on 32 count Dwarf Belfast by Picture This Plus. There he is. Close up. This took 20 some days, I think. And I love stitching him. It was so much fun. Nothing too challenging or fiddly, and I love the piece. I love the gold star and his gold tassel on his hat. I love those candle flames. A couple of fractionals in there. I think they turned out really nicely. And I love the blue that I stitched him on. I think he really pops. I'll definitely have to frame this one for next year. My first Santa portrait, but certainly not the last. And then, not too long after my last update, I finished Celtic Autumn by Lavender and Lace. Stitched this on 28 count casual in the Vintage Country Mocha color by Zweigart. Here she is. Some close-ups. This took around 30 days, I think. And this one also a lot of fun. Although I think I may be a wee bit burnt out on the Celtic Ladies because I finished 2 of them this year. So next up though will be winter, and maybe I'll start that in 2017 or maybe not, we will see. And now I'm going to go back and start at the beginning. So my first finish of 2016 was Celtic Christmas. Here she is. This one is definitely a framing priority for 2017 as well. Love her. Stitched her on Cream Casual by Zweigart. And after that, I finished. I'm going to go through these rather quickly, I guess, because I'm going to try to do Jessie Marie's tag as well. Her Flosstube Yarn Review tag. So this is Midsummer Night Fairy on 32 count opal belfus in the, I think it's called like Royal Shimmer, the colorway. It's from a Silk Weaver, and it's old. I love her. I need to stitch Titania though as a companion before I frame them. And then here is the Air Goddess by Joan Elliott. Stitch this one, I think it's Ariel Belfus by Picture This Plus. Love her. Lots of detail in there. Lots of back stitching. She was actually the only one of the elementals that I finished this year. I was kind of hoping to do two. And then I finished my Haid. Oops. Sideways. Master Colors Quick Stitch. There she is. No, this one was confetti-tastic. She's all done. Not sure how I feel about it. I mean, honestly, I don't know if it was really worth all the confetti angst. But it was done, and hopefully I'll feel differently about it after it's fully finished. And then I did 3 of the reindeer. I'm just going to show, I guess I'll show you Blitzen. I did Blitzen first. I actually started this in 2015, like the day after Christmas maybe, and then finished it around Mania, I think in May, or after Mania. Blitzen. And I did my little addition of his name. This is stitched on 32 count opalescent pewter from Picture This Plus. The same fabric for all of them. I actually bought a fat quarter and I cut it very carefully into 4 pieces. And for 4 reindeer. So this one is Dancer. Lots of bling on these guys. And last but not least, Donner. Those were fun. I was really only planning to do 2 this year, but I broke out 3, so not bad. Drop frame, sorry. So my next finish is Siren and Shipwreck by Mirabilia on Sea Glass Belfast from Hand Dyed by Steph. The color is just not, the fabric is lighter in real life. It's a much prettier color, brighter color. So I love stitching on this fabric. Maybe I can try it without the, that's more true maybe. Love her. The red hair is my conversion and everything. And one more, I guess. Gigi by Nora Corbett. Stitched on 32 count Lugana in the NYX colorway by Under the Sea Fabrics. Really pretty mottled gray. I converted her to a blonde too. I wanted her to be like Fleur Delacour. And I am planning to stitch another witch on the other half of the fabric this year, hopefully, in 2017. Okay, and now I will get into my whips. Excuse me for a sec. Okay, I'm back. I do have a new start whip to share that I started December 27th. This is Dasher. Sorry for the part threads. So as you can see, he's coming along and lots of fun to stitch. I would definitely try to finish him this year. Actually, that's kind of like the theme. All this stuff that I'm going to show you, I'm going to try to finish this year. So here is one of my really old whips, Maiden in the Unicorn by Vermilion. I will insert a picture of what it's supposed to look like when it's finished, and also a picture of what it looked like at the beginning of the year. So here is my whip. I worked on it quite a lot. I think 24 days or something, and as you can see, it's, you know, maybe half done. So, and it wasn't like, I mean, there was a little bit of stitch to begin with too, so I wasn't doing it from scratch. This project is no joke. Lots of fractionals, crazy amounts of fractionals. It is really beautiful though, and it reminds me of like a tapestry, so I love it. Drop frame, sorry. So now I'm going to show you my Stony Creek bell pull, which I started during Mania. I will insert a picture of what it looked like before. So S, U, M, M, E, and then the beginning of the R. So as you can see, I'm on the last block. Hopefully it won't require too much to finish this, maybe like another week or so. I was hoping to finish it this year or last year, but I burned out on it. So this was another 2016 new start, which I started it after I finished Air Goddess, but I think I started it in July. I'm not exactly sure. It's stitched on Highland Belfast from Picture This Plus. I will insert a pic of the finished product, the pattern rather. And here's my whip. So it's coming along. I have a lot more back stitching to do. I have to extend the volume here, which I can chronicle all the way around the circle. At least the bottom half is back stitched, so if that helps. I am hoping to finish this in the first half of 2017. And here is Aphrodite by Mirabilia. This is stitched on 32 count Belfast in the Zeus's Domain, hand painted colorway by Leslie at Under the Sea. Lots of part threads, sorry. I started this I think in October or something. And it's about half done, a little less than half I'd say. I love working on this piece and I'm really excited about finishing it. Hopefully. And then here is an oldie. Well, it's not that old. I mean, I started it, I guess, in 2015. The Castle by Teresa Wensler, stitched on 28. Castle by Sophia Old. So you can see it's coming along. Basically, I have to stitch the dragon and backstitch the dragon. Most of the Rocky Cliff area is all backstitched. I have to backstitch the Rocky Cliff, the castle too. You can see I started backstitching the cliff over here, and doesn't that look awesome? It's going to be so well defined when it's done. It's going to look like a 3D kind of thing. I can't wait. I don't really mind backstitching something like this, which has all these fractionals, because it really sets the piece off, you know, and it makes it worth it. All those time stitching, all those tiny little fractionals. So I'm excited about this piece too. Maybe I'll even start another Teresa Wensler. So here's a UFO basically that I worked on a very small amount in this past year. This is the Autumn Fairy by Dimensions. Oh, it's upside down, sorry. I will insert a pic of what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. Okay, that makes more sense. So this is basically her bodice and her arm reaching up. So long way to go in this piece. I am planning to work on it a bit in January, see how far I can get in like 5 days. And then last but not least, I have my, that pattern is by Dimensions Gold, by the way, the Autumn Fairy kit. And this is the same thing, a kit by Dimensions Gold. This is the Snowman and Friends stocking. With lots of part thread, sorry. You get the idea. So I worked on this a little bit here and there this year. I did like this broom area and some of the background over here. But I am looking forward to finishing this, hopefully. Hopefully by July, you know. If he's not finished by July, I'll give it a solid week and finish it then. I am planning to work on it in February. And turn it into a stocking, too, for my son. I'm actually planning to take apart my other 2 stockings that I stitched for myself and my husband and redo them in a nicer way. Wash them and redo them. Alright, that's it for my whips. And I don't even know how long I've been recording because I keep on having these like drop frames, but I'll try to go through the tag questions as fast as I can. Okay? So the first question is, well, the first set of questions pertains to favorites and least favorites. The question is, what's your favorite whip? And I would have to say Aphrodite. I love working on this piece. The colors are just glorious. The blues and the greens and her tail. I love it. And it's stitched up relatively quickly thus far too, so that's nice. Least favorite, I'd probably have to say the summer bell pull, just because it's so big. Oh my gosh, there's a heck of a lot more stitching in here than I thought there would be. A lot of color changes. I mean, this is kind of indicative of Stony Creek. The patterns are just beautiful, but they're not necessarily quick stitches. So, I mean, I do want to do eventually, you know, 4 of these, you know, 1 for each season, and I have all the patterns. I have enough fabric to do them all. I'll just have to pace myself, I guess. Some of it might be that summer is definitely my least favorite season, and out of the 4 patterns, this is probably my least favorite of them all. So I started it because I wanted something to fit into a stitch along, and I was like, well, okay, whatever. I mean, I'm going to stitch eventually anyway. And in the long run, it's probably good to do the one that I'm least fond of first, because least is out of the way. But that does make it sort of difficult for motivation. So the next question is, what is your favorite finish? And that one, I would have to say Siren. I love her. Love her red hair. Love that blingy chandelier. Sorry for the light. I just love everything about this piece. The colors in her tail and her fin. Oh my gosh. Gorgeous, gorgeous. She kind of reminds me of Ariel swimming down to her grotto of treasures to stash the chandelier she got from the shipwreck. I wasn't really intending to do it that way, but once I converted her hair to red, I was like, oh my gosh, she's like Ariel. So that was fun. And then least favorite finish, I guess I'd have to say my least favorite finish is probably Mask of Colors, and it's unfortunate considering how much work it was. It was so much work for such a small piece. I don't know. I'm not really all that fond of confetti, and this piece had the worst confetti that I've ever experienced. Pretty much the whole thing was confetti. And severe confetti. I mean, you might have 50 colors in a 10 by 10 block, you know, it was intense. And it was slow going. But I am glad it's done. Okay. Sorry, Flosstube itchy nose. Alright, favorite FFO. Oh, I have 2 other finishes I forgot to show you. Sorry. So these are 3 Hinzite patterns that are stitched all together. This was nice. Quick project. Love those charms. Really cute. So I framed that. And then this one, Love with a capital L. This one doesn't have glass in it yet. I need to go to the hardware store and buy some glass. But this is my favorite FFO. Really happy with the frame and everything. A little bit closer, you can see it's like a warm cherry finish with a gold inner edge. And this one was this was a lot of work too. It's a very big pattern. First time I stitched 1/1 on 25 count, and I couldn't be more pleased with how it turned out. I just love it. And what it represents, it's like a wedding sampler for me and my husband, and we've been married 11 years, and he's the best man I know, so I'm glad that I stitched this. Least favorite FFO? I don't know. I mean, I love all my FFOs. Probably the one I was least excited about was the Minion. I guess I'll insert a photo of that one. That's another finish, an FFO. I don't have a photo of the FFO anyway, but what I did is I finished it as a flat fold and I put it in my mystery box for the Mirabilia retreat. And the reason why I was like less excited about it was because I didn't know, like, it was going to be a gift, but I didn't know who for, you know? I got a lot more excited about it after the recipient, Gina, opened it and she loved it. So that was very exciting and very gratifying. But when I finished it and wrapped it up, I was like, well, I spent all this time stitching it and I'm just like sending it off into the ether basically. So in terms of like stitching it as a gift for the mystery box, it was a bit larger and it took more time than I expected. So the next question is, what was your favorite new start? Probably Aphrodite again. When I started her, I just took off with it. I stitched like the whole, oh no, I just dropped a bunch of stuff. Oh well. I stitched her whole like fin tail type area and like, okay, drop frame. So like I said, Aphrodite was probably my favorite new start. My least favorite was probably the Stony Creek piece, just because it takes, once I started, I realized how very long it was going to take, you know? All right, next question is favorite, least favorite tool. For me, favorite would probably be Tacky Bob. I just love that for beading. Least favorite? I don't know. Probably the laying tool that I received somewhere along the way in like a goodie bag or something. I can't imagine myself ever using that. I just feel like it would slow me down too much, and I'm happy with the way my stitches lay anyway. So maybe if I were like entering my stuff in the fair or something, but I've never done that and I don't really plan to. I don't really care how my stuff is judged. I just want to see it hanging on the wall in my house, you know? Favorite, least favorite technique. Probably favorite technique. I don't know. Stitching 1/1 on a 25 count, maybe? Least favorite. Stitching 1/1 on 28 count. I guess I need some more like magnification or something. I did the 1/1 on 28 for my Celtic Autumn piece for the leaves that are falling from her hand, and that was difficult, especially when stitching at night. Favorite, least favorite material. Well, my favorite is always Belfast, hand-dyed Belfast. I guess least favorite is probably the Ada that came in the kit for the Autumn Fairy, and I just had a hard time with that in the beginning. It was very stiff and difficult to put the needle through, but it has softened up considerably being in my crafting cabinet, so it's not so bad anymore. Favorite, least favorite pattern release of 2016. Well, my favorite was probably Aphrodite. Normally I sort of think about the mirrors for a while before I purchase them, before I kit them up, before I start them, but that one I pretty much decided within a day that I needed to buy it, I needed to buy a fabric for it, I needed to start it. So I did. And least favorite, probably like some of the real popular like stitch-alongs and stuff that you don't see on my channel could be considered my least favorite. And I'm not going to say I don't like those pieces. I mean, I sure love seeing them when other people stitch them. It's just not my personal aesthetic, so you won't see me stitching them. Sorry. many whips at the start of the year? I had 6 at the start of the year. How many whips at the end of the year? I have 6 at the end of the year. How many starts during the year? 18. How many finishes? 18. FFOs. There were, I'll have to look at my blog real quick to answer that question. 5 full finishes. I did another frame piece, which I'll have to insert a picture of, and I did the flat fold, of the minion, which I don't have a picture of the FO, sorry. So that's 5. The next question is, how many UFOs temporary? 1, that would be my Earth Goddess piece. I got a little burned out on that and decided to set it aside until the new year. So it's very temporary though, just a few months. As a UFO, I'll pick her up again this month and see if I can finish her, or at least get very close to finished at the end of January. How many UFOs permanent? 1, that's my Merlin and Author Haid, full-size Haid. I had intended to bring it out and work on it this year. I did not do that, so still a UFO, still my 1 UFO. Number 16, how many full coverage pages complete? I'll just say 1, because Mask of Colors, it was essentially 1 page plus some change. It was 100 by 110 or something like that, and I'm fine with that. Full coverage isn't really my cup of tea at this point in my life. I don't have the patience for it, maybe. So, hopefully in the future. The next question is concerned, what was your first start? I will say my first start was Siren and Shipwreck. I'm pretty sure I started that on January 1st of 2016. My last start was Dasher on December 27th. I finished 12 days on the 26th, and I was like, well, hey, this is my 18th finish, so maybe I should start 1 more. So I have 18 starts as well. Zero-sum game, right? And first finish, I think, was my Celtic Christmas piece. Finished that in February. My last finish was the 12 days, as I mentioned, on the 26th of December. All right, number 19. 19 through 22 concern regrets. So regrets for purchases. I don't really regret any of my purchases, although I did buy some Haids, which I probably didn't need to buy since I don't really have any intention of stitching them anytime soon. Regrets for starts? Not really. Maybe the summer bell pull, but not truly, because I do want to stitch it eventually, so I may as well have started it, you know. Regrets for stopping? Maybe the Earth Goddess, the temporary UFO. Although I did decide to put Celtic Autumn in like her slot, and I finished that instead, so it's not like a big regret. The only thing is that I had planned to start Fire Goddess in January, and I'm not going to do that because Earth Goddess is not finished. So I want to finish Earth before I start Fire. So I do kind of regret it in that sense. Regrets for not participating? Not really. I mean, I think I participated in a lot of stuff, and I don't generally have a whole lot of FOMO. I kind of like to do my own thing, you know? So, yeah. The next questions concern things that were new or new to me. So, new tool. I'm going to say the needle minder that I received in my mystery box, and it's really pretty. I love it. I don't use it on my pieces, but I do use it if I like drop a needle or something. I'll like run it along the floor or whatever to find it. Number 24, new technique or stitch. I guess I'll say the 1/125 count that I did on my Love with a capital L piece. I had tried that before, but not successfully, so that was my first successful use of it. Number 25, designer. That would be Sue Hillis. I saw some of her stuff at LNS, like a trunk show type thing, and I fell in love with it. I had seen her stuff before online, but you know it's different when you see it in person. And I stitched one of her pieces this year, and I stashed some more. So I hope to stitch at least one more next year, or this year, 2017. New to me fabric. I'm gonna say the hand painted fabric that I got from Leslie. I've never stitched on a hand painted fabric before, and I do like it. The only thing about it is that I like certain areas of it better than others, so I had to sort of arrange my stitching to cover certain things and expose certain things. So I don't know, kind of neutral on the whole like hand painted fabric thing. Number 27, new to me thread. I don't recall any new to me threads that I've used. Sorry. I mean, maybe new colors perhaps, but I've been stitching a long time and I kind of like know what I like and I use it, you know. Number 28, new to you vendor or shop. I'm going to say Bush Mountain Stitchery. I got a coupon for their shop at the Harrisburg retreat, and I called them up before Christmas because I was looking for a hand-dyed fabric, and the owner of the shop was wonderful. She spent a while on the phone with me talking about fabric and helping me sort of remotely choose one. That was great, and I have since received the fabric. I love it. It will be perfect for my project. So I think. I mean, I haven't done a Flosstube yet, but I'm pretty sure. So yeah, Bush Mountain Stitchery. They're in, I think, New Hampshire it is, but they have a website and they do mail order. You can call them or order on their website or whatever. And new to me terminology. I'm going to say FOMO. Never heard that one before. Flosstube. Never heard that before 2016. I started, you know, when I heard of it when I joined Facebook, basically, which I also joined in 2016. New to me Flosstube channels. Well, all of them, like I just mentioned. But some of my favorites that I've watched recently, I have too many to name, but I'll name a few that I've watched in the past couple days. So they would be like Jessie Marie and Jessie Marie Does Stuff, and like Kelly from the Evergreen Needle, and the Emily C. from Electric Possessions, and Aussie Stitcher, Belinda, and there are others. There are too many others to name, so I love you all. New to me. Okay, we're done with the new stuff. So the next set of questions, a mix of questions. Number 31. What did you learn this year? Well, I learned that I don't like to have too many whips, basically, and the serial starting thing is not really for me. What did you teach someone this year? Well, I showed someone the loop start, and that's not like a big thing, but you know, it is a very handy trick. So. Number 33, did you become real-life friends with any stitchers you only knew via social media previously? Well, yes, indeed, I did. I have met some people via Flosstube, and I've had stitchy meetups with them, and I consider some of them my friends. For example, hi, Samira. Yeah, so that was great. It's nice to have real-life stitchy friends. Number 34, are you happy with what you accomplished this year? Okay, stitching notes, sorry. Yeah, I am happy with the stitching. I wanted to start 16 projects. I did that plus a bit more. I had some Apocalypse goals. This is like a blog thing, and I managed to accomplish most of those with the exception of Merlin and Author. That's still UFO. Hasn't received any action. The thing that I'm not completely satisfied with is my other like crafting productivity, for example, knitting and sewing. I'm just not very good at sharing my time. I tend to be obsessive, so maybe I can fix that a little bit in 2017, but I don't really have high hopes in the matter because it's not something I'm particularly good at, as I mentioned. Drop frame, sorry. So the next question is, what are your Goals for 2016, how they measure up to what you accomplished. I just sort of mentioned that concerning the starts and the finishes and everything. So, yeah, I'm happy that I started 18 and I'm happy that I finished 18, basically. Number 36. Has your stitching style organization changed during the year? If so, how? Yeah, absolutely. After I did Crazy January last year, I suddenly had a bunch of whips and I realized I needed a more organized rotation. So I tried that. I'd never really, I guess before I'd sort of had more like a screaming rotation. So I adopted like a weekly rotation and that worked out really well for me. I also got more organized with my supplies. I bought some ammo cases for my Krennic, and I bought a 3-ring binder with some page protectors to keep all my active patterns. And I bought an additional storage box for my memorabilia patterns. I got a nice Vera Bradley duffel bag that I use to put my scroll frame in and all my stitchy stuff when I go to retreats and stitchy meetups. So, yeah, definitely a lot of new organization this year. Number 37. Did you fall victim to FOMO? Were there any projects that you would pass on starting if you were given the chance to go back in time and do it all over? No, not really. The only thing that I kind of I signed up for the Stitch What's thing, and it was really fun in the beginning, but then there started to be like projects that I just didn't really want to participate in. For example, like the house crest, I just wasn't really interested in stitching it, and I don't stitch stuff unless I love it, you know? And I didn't love it, so I didn't stitch it. So I feel like I'm not like participating in that as much as I could be, and I don't know if I regret signing up, but I'm not really sure if I'll continue with it. We'll see in 2017. Number 38. Did you participate in any sales? If so, which one was your favorite? I participated in a ton of sales. I think my favorite was probably the Christmas in July stitch along, which I think was cross stitch finish line, if memory serves. I love that. I always do Christmas in July, like just by myself, and it was great to do it as a sale too. Because July is probably like one of my least favorite months of the year. As I mentioned, I'm not a big fan of summer, and Christmas in July just helps improve the whole month for me, you know? What did you learn about yourself through your stitching this year? I learned that serial starting is not really my thing. I'd never tried it before, so I couldn't, say before. But I prefer to like have finishes more than starts, basically. Number 40. What was your favorite event that you participated in this year? I will say the Stitchy Olympics with Stitch Mania. That was a lot of fun. I loved the creative interpretation of all the themes, the life of my projects in there, and stitching while I watched the events. That was a lot of fun. Number 41. Were there any 2016 stitching fads that you didn't jump on the bandwagon for, but you're still considering? Well, it's not exactly a fad, but I am still waffling over the Doreen Jones Lakeside stitching fantasy style. I really like that piece, what I've seen of it so far, but my general practice is I don't do mystery stitch-alongs because I only stitch what I love, and frankly, I can't know if I love it if I haven't seen the whole thing stitched, you know? So I'm waiting on that one. Number 42. What project are you most looking forward to starting? I'm going to say King Arthur's Court by DMC, which is going to be my New Year, New Start, hopefully later today. Number 43. Which project are you most looking forward to finishing? Probably my summer bell pull, because it would be good to have that one out of my hair. Number 44. Do you intend to be more determined or laid back in your stitching in the following year? I'm probably equal determination, maybe in a different direction. In 2016, my determination was concerning starts. In 2017, it's going to be more concerning whips. I'm doing the year of whips, so basically I want to finish all my whips. Number 45, what event are you most looking forward to participating in? Probably the Year of Whips, as I just mentioned, just because, especially like the older ones, I'm really looking forward to finishing like my Teresa Wensler and my Maiden in the Unicorn piece. I know it'll be a lot of work and everything, but it'll be great to have those done. Number 46, what are your stitchy resolutions for next year? Well, as I just mentioned, finish all those whips, basically. That is my biggest resolution. I have, I guess, 11 projects that I want to finish, which include 2 new starts in January, or something like that. I don't know. I'll get more into it when I do my 2017 plans. Number 47, will you be participating in any sales? Yes, absolutely. I have already worked out my rotation for the first 6 months of the year, and a lot of that is with consideration of various sales, so I'll be participating in many. I've already signed up for a few, like the Stitch Mania Christmas All Year Round one, and I will be definitely doing the New Start Old Stash thing with my group, Stitch from Stash, and lots of stuff along the way. Number 48, are there any material stitches techniques you'd like to try in the new year? I'll say maybe like a new to me hand dyer. So, or new to me designs. I am looking forward to maybe trying some patterns by Ink Circles, Passione Ricamo, Glendon Place, things I haven't stitched in, designers I haven't stitched in the past, so that would be nice. I just lost my list of questions, excuse me for a second. Okay, the next questions are non-stitching. Number 49 is, what was the best thing to happen to you this year? I don't know. I mean, 2016 was kind of a challenging year, and for a lot of us, myself included. But one good thing that happened was that my hubby got a promotion, so that was nice. Had an impact on our family finances. Number 50, what are your resolutions for next year? Well, my resolutions are to finish all those whips and to do a bunch of framing. I also want to try to knit more, sew more. I want to finish 2 sweaters next year. We'll see how that happens, if I can do that. I used to be a crazy prolific knitter, and I would turn out like 20 sweaters in the year, so 2 shouldn't really be that big of a deal, but we'll see. Oh, here comes Oliver. Hi, sweetheart. Okay, that's it for the questions. Thank you, Jessie and Marie, for putting all that stuff together. I know that's been a lot of work. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I know this is a pretty long video, so thank you to all my subscribers. I still need to do my drawing for the giveaway. I'll do that on my next regular update, so hang in there for a bit. I will do it, don't worry. All right, goodbye, everyone, and I'll see you soon when I do my 2017 previews. Ta-ta!